So listen to the play-by-play, day by day.
What it do, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to the Day by Day podcast for your Day by Day broadcast. I'm your host, Day with an I, not a Y, do not XY, and today I have a great one for y'all because we are joined by entertainer, cinematographer, musician, and not only that, I mean, y'all gonna recognize him because he's damn near the most famous meme of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by Niles Retro Spectro Stewart. What's good, bro?
What's going on, man? I'm happy to be here on Day by Day. You know what I mean? It's another day, and we taking that day by day.
I like that.
You like that?
I like that. I'm
slogan?
gonna have to sound clip that and
Yeah,
use it
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
I appreciate you for pulling up as well. We ready to have a good time, and we're gonna get straight into it. Like I said, they know you for being the most famous meme of all time, which we will get to. But not only that, like you've just been in content and
Mhm.
entertainment world, at least from what we've seen, for a long time.
Yeah.
So what I want to ask you is, how did all of this start? The entertainment spectrum that you stepped into, how did all of it start?
Honestly, entertainment to me, it started with just being creative. So like
Mm,
people don't know, I'm a musician first,
mm,
and I've been playing the drums since 6 years old.
wow.
I done played in every type of band, whether rock, jazz, church, uh, like anything. Like I done
Yeah.
been on the drum line, all of that. You know what I
Wow.
mean? And that was my first introduction into being creative, which is
Mhm.
just music was like a form of creative expression.
Right.
And then going into just film and the videos and everything like that,
Mhm.
it's I just looked at it as another form of expression. So
Yeah.
that's all it was. It's like you express one thing musically through the
Mhm.
drumming and everything like that. And then I was able to tell different stories once I got on camera. And it kind of just flowed into that because I was already in a creative space
Yeah.
and entertaining. Like I already been on stages in front of people playing the drums, like doing talents. Like I done been on
Mm.
stage
Yeah.
already in front of people. So it was kind of like seamless
Right.
into going into entertaining
Right.
people. Like it was just like a natural thing that happened.
Yeah. You're already used to being, for one, creative, and
Hmm.
creativity is never boxed in.
Yeah.
That's why you were able to go outside of the music world, but you were used to being in front of people.
Yeah.
So being able to take both of those aspects and move forward beyond that to the actual, cinema photography piece, that was effortless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
pretty
what's
much
up.
what it was. And then just doing that, honestly, I was like with my friends and we was just like having fun.
Yeah.
And picking up cameras and you kicking it with the guys. So
Right.
you already know like y'all talking and y'all just like BS and talking about whatever. And then like we just started creating from there. And it
Mm.
was just like, oh, let's film it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Let's put it on camera. Let's do this, let's do that. And then it just started rolling from there. And I was just always doing it since then. Like this was before I even was on YouTube, Vine, anything like that. We
Mhm.
was just doing stuff on Facebook for our
Mm.
friends and family personally.
What type
Because
of reactions were you getting then when you first started putting content out there?
I mean, well, friends and family. I mean, they was obviously like enjoying stuff and supporting and things like that. But there was no like, I don't even think Vine existed. Like, so
Mm.
there was no Twitter video. YouTube wasn't popping with a bunch of like skits and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it just wasn't really a thing to that was like really talked about until I sound like a dinosaur. But Cinemagram came out.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
I
So
wasn't
that
tapped
was
in
like
then.
before Vine even came out. That was
Okay.
like they was doing. It was like 6 second clips, no sound at all.
So
Yeah,
like memes or GIFs, if you would.
pretty much. And you
Yeah.
had to like, and that was what was cool too, because it forced your creativity to kind of like you gotta adapt within what you got. So if you got a 6 second clip, no sound,
Right.
you gotta make that happen. Then Vine came out with 6 second clips with sound. So now you got something
Mm.
else to work with. Then you had Twitter came out with 15 second videos.
Mhm.
And then so it's just like you get to just move around in different sections and kind of adapt as you go along. But honestly, I was just kicking it with the guys and we was just having fun.
That's what's up. So when y'all first started with the Facebook videos before the
Hmm.
Cinemagram, what type of videos were y'all making?
More so like fun. It was still kind of like funny videos, but kind of like home. I want to say like home film, if that makes sense. Like
Mm.
you could shoot a horror thing, but it's like the acting is terrible.
Mm.
Camera work
Yeah.
is terrible. Everything is terrible in it,
Yeah.
but we didn't miss the moment. to
Mm.
create. And I
Yeah.
think like that was the biggest thing, is not missing those moments.
Yeah. So when did it get to the point where y'all were like, oh, and real quick, when I say y'all, because you have a team, it's three
Mhm.
of y'all,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. Lean
Um,
Squad,
mhm.
Lean and Cuisine, and You Funny Bee. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
we all started together.
Yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to shout out the team because all three of y'all are hilarious.
Yeah,
And
appreciate it.
that's even big that all three of y'all continue to grow gradually collectively. Like it
Mhm.
wasn't like just one of y'all were funny and the other two
Yeah,
kind of was
like
on
fell
the
off.
yeah, nah, all three of y'all were equally hilarious and
Mhm.
grew the whole time.
Yeah.
When did it get to where y'all were like, okay, we kind of got something?
Honestly, like we've always had that confidence because like we was never like creating for people.
Mm,
So we was just creating for ourselves, and it's just like you got that idea and we would just shoot it and be laughing with ourselves. Before we was getting any type of numbers,
mhm,
um we was just having fun.
mm,
So when it got to the point of like actually, starting to see people, that wasn't even until like later. And I know Lean, honestly, he was going crazy on Cinemagram when
mm.
Cinemagram came out. And then we transferred into Vine, and then that's when it kind of like flowed from there. People was just rocking with it.
Yeah.
But honestly, I never like we all got, and me, Lean, and B, we all got different types of humor.
Yeah.
So that's what was cool about it too, and being in the collective. I didn't even know if people would like rock with my sense of humor, but in
Why?
putting stuff out, they
Uh-huh.
just did.
Why did you think that at that point?
Humor is so subjective.
It is.
Comedy is subjective. You'll hear somebody like they can watch a comedy special. You're not funny.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? You got
Yeah.
people heckling in the crowd, like they'll
Yeah.
say all of these things, but it's like it's subjective. Like when
Yeah.
you hear somebody might say like, "Oh, you took the joke too far." It's like,
Right.
what is too far? Because other people is laughing. So
Yeah.
I think for me, it was just like I felt like my humor was such a personal thing to me
Mhm.
that I'm like, damn, do people really like rock with that? But then when you start seeing the reactions and everything like that,
Mhm.
and just the support of like my family and friends around me,
Yeah.
they was like really showing love and stuff, and I was just like that kind of took me by surprise
Mm.
that they really rocked with.
You didn't expect that.
Nah, I didn't expect that at all.
It's interesting that you brought up how humor is subjective,
Mhm.
and especially today. Like even then, the time you're talking about, like it was, but like today it's like times 10. Everything is
Super
under a
sensitive,
microscope.
yeah.
So what I want to talk about is a scene from the series Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a transracial skit
Yeah, yeah.
where you identified as a 35-year-old white man,
Yeah.
correct? So, two questions. How did that even make its way to first off, how was that created? And then how did that make its way to Atlanta, the series?
So that was created. It's funny because that skit specifically, um, well, that whole episode was centered around a skit that I had did,
Mm,
and it was a skit that I did when you realize you're transracial was
mm.
actually I don't know if you remember the lady Rachel Dolezal.
The white lady
Yeah,
who
yeah,
claimed to
yeah.
be black, yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of took inspiration from her story, and then I did a skit. And honestly, it's funny because I didn't even want to do the skit. I had the idea, and then I was like, ah. And then one of my older brothers, he was just like, nah, do it. And I was like, I'm not gonna do it. He went and got the supplies and everything for it, and then he
Mhm.
came back. He was like, I already bought the stuff. He was like, do
You
it.
got to
Yeah,
now,
yeah. So I was
yeah.
like, all right, I do it. So I did it, and then that skit went viral. And then and people are always like, you never know who watching your stuff. So
Right.
there was people from like Donald's camp and his team, they was watching it and stuff like that. And I had already like, amassed a following by then. So they had watched it and they thought it was funny. And then that's how they ended up. They was just like, well, we want to turn that into a whole episode. And then that's when they
Mm.
had like hit me up and then contacted me and they did that. And I really respect that because I mean he didn't have to include me in that at all. He could have just been like, oh, we seen that and I'm gonna do it my own way and don't include him at all. But
Right.
that was real genuine. He's one of the most genuine people I've met in the industry.
That's what's up. And
Yeah.
yeah, because when I seen it, because I watched Atlanta and that episode I'm watching, I'm like, yo, I'll be seeing him on social media.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
actually funny, but that's actually dope as hell.
Yeah.
And you killed it too.
Yeah, appreciate it. And then I also got the opportunity to go back and then write for the second season. So you know what
Wow.
I mean? That was another fire thing that just came from that. And it all just came from just, putting stuff out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You said you got the opportunity to write for the second season.
Mhm.
Could you break that down?
Yeah, I mean, it's a typical like well, let me not say typical. So for people that may not understand, you do
Mhm.
writers' rooms for shows and
Mhm.
TV series. Like you sit down with a bunch of writers and you brainstorming. You come up with different things and kind of like map out how seasons and
Yeah.
episodes is gonna go. So that was what we was able to do, and that was a cool process. And that was just like unbelievable to just be even a part of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just like you got all of these different moments through the timeline of like the things that you're doing where like you'll look back and you'll be like, dang, like you never thought like it would come to this, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like here you are and you here
Right.
and it just be mind blowing, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. It's kind of like you don't really realize in the moment, like that you're in
Yeah,
that
it's like a
moment.
fever dream. You like
Yeah.
and then I'll tell people like stuff be such a blur because it's like you're doing so much and it's so much that like you're like, damn, I didn't plan for this, but then this
Mhm.
happened, and then you like
Mhm.
this is happening, and
Mhm.
now you over here doing this, and it's
Mhm.
like it all just be a blur because you ain't planned for it for real,
Yeah.
and it's just like it be God's plan for real.
Absolutely. And I will mention that the being prepared for that moment is big
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Because you'll see people that wish for that moment, but don't put no work or
yeah,
preparation into it. And when that moment arrives, they crash and burn out.
yeah.
They're not ready to use that as momentum to move forward, like you
Mm-hmm.
said. So what was it like being on set, actually doing that scene during the show?
Being on set and even with the like subjective aspect of it,
Mhm.
I didn't really care. I
Mm.
mean, because the thing is, like, even with my comedy and the things that I do now, I make fun of everybody. I mean, I got sketches where I'm making fun of disabled people,
Mhm.
black people, white people, religious in any type of way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like that's what it should be. Um, it's fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need a break from real life sometimes. So it's just like
Absolutely.
even in doing that sketch, I knew what it would look like.
Mhm.
Um, I knew how it could potentially present, and I was cool with that.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel no pressure as far as that. Everybody on set was like super cool. Everybody on set was like super supportive, and it was just fun. It was like a fun thing all around,
Mhm.
from top to bottom. Honestly, it
Yeah.
was a fun experience.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Did you get to see what's the his girl's name on the show? I think it's like Zoe something.
Oh yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
fine as hell.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
I was
god.
able to kick it with the whole cast, kick it with everybody,
Yeah.
and just being around everybody. And yeah, it's just funny, like just the dynamics.
What was the biggest surprise?
Like being on set.
Yeah.
Honestly, the biggest surprise to me because that was probably the first. That's probably like the first big set I want to say I've been on.
Mhm.
So it was more so the biggest surprise to me was just the moving pieces behind the scenes and
Mhm.
like how much it take to make certain things happen. Like,
Mm.
one scene. Like people would see one scene, they don't know how much went into that scene. Like
Right.
50 people involved
Yeah.
in this one kitchen scene. And
Yeah.
the angle might not even be moving, but it's so many like layers to
Mhm.
what made this shot beautiful,
Yeah.
what made this shot work from wardrobe, makeup to PAs and everybody on set, like really playing their part and really knowing their role and playing their role. It's cool to see like just a moving wheel.
Yeah.
And that's something that a lot of people don't be able to see behind the
Right. We
scenes.
just see the
Yeah, you see
screen.
the finished product. So
Yeah.
I think that was like the biggest thing to me. I was like, damn, I didn't know it like took that much at the time. That was my first big set.
That's what's up. One thing I really like about that skit is how ahead of its time it was.
Mm-hmm.
Cause when that came out, the lady I forgot the name that we're speaking about that was white that
Yeah, yeah,
identified
yeah.
as black, like that was one thing in its own. But we're in the world today where you can identify as anything,
Yeah.
like
Whatever you want.
a robot. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like everyone's doing a trans blank.
Yeah.
So that was ahead of its time, which I really looking back at it, I'm like, damn, like that's crazy. Like, was that the intention? Like, did you know it was gonna lead up to like where we are now with times?
Nah, and you know what's funny? That's why I say like, and I'll tell anybody like, just know you cannot miss the moment because you
Mhm.
you don't know what you're putting out into the world,
Mhm.
and like honestly, I be feeling like you tapped into another realm when you creating freely
Yeah.
because you could say something and do something, and it's just in your mind right now,
Yeah.
but then something might click or something within the universe and the world like might just happen to be lined up exactly with what you did. So even when I did that sketch, like I didn't know. Well, I knew Rachel Dolezal was doing what she was doing,
Mhm.
but I just thought it was funny to like and I had white face on and everything in that skit.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was funny to take it further, like and jump off the ledge with what she was already doing, and that's just a part of me finding the humor in it. But art imitates life. So, and some people say it vice versa. Life imitates art.
Yeah.
So they both influence one another. So I'm not surprised that like when I look at like today and how everything is, and you know, just the things that people do and say, I'm not surprised because there was something in me that saw that even within what she was doing, and everybody was calling her out too for it. Like, how you just identifying as black now,
Right.
like, so, but she was doing it, and yeah, I think just making it more mainstream and putting it at a different level just puts more eyes on it.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think it's just the whole sentiment of art imitating life and life imitating art. Same thing with music. Music do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like we making stuff about what you see and what's going on.
Right. That sketch, along both the sketch before the show and during the show, along with any other sketches, because like you said, you make fun of disabled people, black people, white, whatever. Have you ever had anybody turn up on you or any backlash from anything?
Yeah, I mean, people. The thing is, like, I've been doing this for like over 10 years now, so it's like I got thick skin, and I'm used to the comments. I read every single comment, so. And then if you comment on a YouTube video of mine, I read it for sure.
Yeah.
But you just don't respond to certain things, and certain people don't get it. They won't understand, like, when you are creating at a certain level, I'm not creating just for myself. I'm not creating just for like my friend. Like, I'm creating at a high level. So it's just like you're kind of the voice for different people. And let's say when it goes to like, you know, making fun of somebody disabled, somebody can be in the comments and be like, oh, you know, this is ableism and you're making fun of like that. But then I have so many disabled people hit me and be like, thank you. We don't have nobody. People are so scared to like tell a joke. We want to laugh too.
Right. They don't like that.
I got a sense of humor too. Like, nobody wants to touch on stuff that we go through. Nobody wants to like speak on like what could be funny. So it's just like, they'll be like, thank you, bro. I'm dying laughing. I made fun of people stuttering. It's just like people be like, this not cool, blah, blah, blah. But then you'll have so many people that stutter be like, thank you, bro. Thank you. So it's like things like that is what like make me be like, it is what it is, because there's people that go through it on a day-to-day basis. And I don't know, that's weird, because I realized that it'd be a lot of people that speak up that don't even, it's not your story. So it's just like you're speaking on something that like you're not even going through. And we got a lot of buzzwords and stuff like that. Now I am sensitive to whatever it might be hurting somebody, but at the same time, like, people want to laugh, bro. Everybody not so uptight and like, you know what I mean? Don't talk like, people got senses of humor.
Yeah, like you said, they don't want to be in that sensitive energy all day. So when someone's able to bring a sense of humor to it, it's relaxed. Like, it's all good. Like me, I love bald head jokes. Like me being bald, like when people say all bald dudes with a beard look the same with a hat on, or you know what I'm saying, or we all look like a potato with a beard, I be dying laughing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in my skin now. I'm bald. Like, I love being bald. You know what I mean? So like when I hear bald jokes, I die laughing. Now I will say, like, if maybe someone hasn't come to acceptance of that, then they're usually sensitive. When I first shaved my head and rocked the hat for a whole year, I was sensitive as fuck.
Yeah.
Once,
somebody touch your hat, you like, yeah.
Man, what I remember one time I was at a football game. This is when I first shaved it. I went to Bowie State. So I'm at the game. I already graduated. I play football. And I'm at the game, and one of my homies was there. He was a couple years ahead of me. And I had my hat on. And we're at the game, bro. It's people there. We chilling. He's like, yo, let me see your hat right quick. Took that joint off.
Ready to fight.
I'm like, oh, I had to play it cool, because if I turned up, then that would have looked bad. I'm like, all right, fuck it. Bro, inside, my heart is going like this. You know what I mean? But it's funny now to look back at it, because that was the state I was in. Now it's hilarious. Just like the people that appreciate you shedding light to, you know, whatever it is that you're
and that's what I say too. Like, it's just like it may not be for you. And like, and that's what I also love when I say it's subjective, is there's different comedy for everybody. So it's like, if you want like the soft cookie cutter like comedy, then there's somebody out there that creates it. You know what I mean? Like I've gotten asked to like, hey, we want you to write a couple of sketches for this show and do this and do that. And then they'll see the sketches and they're like, we got a red line this, that. I'm like, do you know who you asked to write for you?
Right.
I'm like, you have to go get a Disney Channel writer or something like that. Like, that's not me. So it's just like, there's different levels for different people. And it's people that I feel go way further than me, where I'm like, I wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
But it's just like, there's a level of people that want to watch that level. So I'm just like, I'm happy that everybody gets to enjoy whatever it is that they enjoy. Like I said, it's all subjective, but I love it.
That's what's up. You mentioned earlier you have thick skin.
Mm-hmm.
And usually that comes from our upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask about that, rewinding a little bit again. You're from PG County, Maryland, correct?
I'm from Harlem, New York, actually.
Okay.
And raised in PG County. I've always been back and forth because like a lot of my immediate family is living in New York. So I've just always been back and forth between there and Maryland. Yeah.
So you got Harlem, you got New York City and PG County.
Yeah.
Two of the most funniest joning areas.
Yeah.
How was that?
You know what's funny? When I first moved to Maryland, anybody that know me personally, they'll vouch for me. I was fighting damn near every day when I moved to Maryland, because in New York, I was not used to joning. I wasn't used to that. And they wasn't doing that, or maybe the people I was around in New York wasn't doing that. So when I got to Maryland and they was doing that, I thought that like you was like really.
Oh, you thought it was personal?
Yeah. So like I would be on a bus, and I come from a big family, so it's just like I'd be on a bus like, what's up?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you said this, so like, what's up?
And that's New York as well. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all be ready to throw down as well.
So every day, like we getting off the bus, and I come from a big family, so I'm not gonna go to my family and be like, oh, I was getting bullied, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm gonna defend myself.
Yeah.
So like damn near every day I'm fighting. I'm getting suspended all the time because I thought like people was like at me, trying to like hurt me for real.
Yeah.
Until I learned, and people was telling me, hey, you just make fun of them back,
Right.
bro. Like, it's just like, it ain't gotta be all that.
Yeah.
And then I learned, and I was just like, oh, like they don't mean no harm by it. This is like a fun thing. So then you say something to somebody else, and then everybody start laughing at them too. And then you laugh a little too hard, and we gonna get on you too. So and then you realize it's just a fun thing that we just all having fun. And then from there, I was able to like chill out. But like, first, I was not with none of that Jonah. I just didn't understand it at all.
I be telling people, like, so I went to college in New York, and I was chill, but even if I did turn up a little bit, like people from Jersey and New York kind of got the same reaction that you were talking about. And even beyond that, I always tell people, like, being from Maryland, so I'm from Laurel. Even though I lived on the Anne Arundel and PG side, I went to school in Anne Arundel County. But nonetheless, it's Maryland. It's joning from
everywhere.
Right, from one end of the spectrum to the next. Like from a baby to adult, it's always joning. And I be telling people, like, like background away, like it gets unchy. Like if you ain't got thick skin, if you ain't quick on your feet, if you ain't got a sense of humor, you're done for.
Yeah, if you taking everything too personal, somebody, oh, your shirt a little too tight, you gotta say something back, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta pick whatever you could pick out their outfit, whatever look uncomfortable to them, and say something back. And when you're not used to that, it'll rub people wrong.
Yeah. So when you realize, okay, this is just part of the culture out here in Maryland as far as the joning, when did you get good at joning back?
Honestly, I got good with just practice, because what happened was me coming from the mindset like they trying to hurt me. I was like, okay, well, since now I know that they playing and we not about to fight, they don't want to fight for real. So now that I know we playing, I'm gonna say something personal.
Yeah.
So I wasn't saying like the light jokes, like, oh, you know, like, yo, you're fat about. I'm saying like dirty jokes. I'm hitting low, but I'm hitting low because like to me, I like dark humor. It's funny to me, and I'm like, we having fun. Y'all said we
You know, that's what y'all wanted. Y'all said it's cool.
Just like, we having fun. So like, I'm talking about stuff like I ain't like talking about people's poverty levels, all types of stuff, and things like that. But it's like that's not a joke no more. When you saying like you can't afford food tonight. It's not a joke. It's serious to them. But I get it. Like, but it just took like doing it more and more and more, and then seeing how other people react. And honestly, I still like personal jokes because I don't take it personal anyway. Like, Say whatever you want about me. It's just like it's all fun and games. Me understanding that now, but like the more practice you have, like just going in on somebody,
Yeah.
having group sessions where we all just joning on
Yeah,
each other.
literally,
Like,
bro.
that's where you want
rapid fire, either direction. Yeah,
anybody
bro.
could get it. Like I said, you
bro.
laugh a little too hard,
Yeah.
you getting it. Or even if you don't laugh, but you laugh on a particular
Right.
joke. Why you laughing at this joke? Out of all, this the last joke you should be laughing at. So then like the group sessions for sure, like those get you right.
Bro, my homies back home, we damn near 30 years old and it still be going on, bro. Like that shit never stops. Let me ask you, have you ever went too low to the point where someone wanted to fight you?
Yeah, for sure. But honestly, like if I go that low, where somebody's want to fight me, I did it on purpose. So I'm just like, it is what it is at that point.
Yeah.
Because now I'm being disrespectful on purpose. And so like I really don't care at that point.
Yeah.
But like if we joning and we just having fun, I'm typically not about to like go that low. Once you learn like, hey, it ain't gotta be all of that.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not just going that low off the jump, especially like now. I'll keep it light.
Yeah.
But if it got to that point, then I most likely did it on purpose.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's happened.
Okay.
It's happened for sure. But
has it ever gotten physical? Like has someone ever fought you at the end of the day? Like how you
Yeah. It's gotten physical to that point.
do you remember what the joke was or what it was around?
Nah, because honestly, I fought so much. Like I fought so much when I moved from New York that like I can't even remember like how many fights like whether it's in school, out of school.
Yeah.
Like it's bad. I think I come from like one of the. It's funny like I whether it's my younger brother or anybody that I be seeing even younger than me. Cause I'm 26, so I'm not that old. But I feel like I came from like a generation, one of the last generations that was like outside. Meaning like when you get out of school, everybody's at the basketball court. Everybody's playing football.
Yeah.
We outside, like you judging who home by the bikes that's outside.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like. It ain't no texting and calling. You just pull up to somebody's house and knock on the door.
Facts.
And y'all have y'all day. So it's just like that's the era that I was in. And when we talk about thick skin and all of that type of stuff, it's just like I feel like when you grow up in that era, it's hard to not have thick skin because you really had to be outside.
Right. And you're running into anybody and
everybody.
And you never know what comes from that. So you gotta be quick on your feet and you can't, take it personal.
Yeah. So I mean, I've never like I can't even remember like what that joke would have even been.
Got you. Who produces funnier people, New York or the DMV?
Low-key, not even low-key. I want to say the DMV. I want to say the DMV. I don't think it's low-key. I think New York got funny people, but I think the DMV got it when it comes to that, especially comedy for sure.
Bro, Martin Lawrence, Dave Chappelle, Earthquake, Red Grant, and then just like regular.
Yeah, and then the people that come off of seeing all of those greats, those legends, the people that come under that umbrella and support and represent the area. Represent the area. I don't think that New York is like topping that. I mean, you got a lot of like sketch comedy and stuff like that like people do good in New York. But Queen's Flip is out there.
And New York can't have everything. New York got fashion, music, and basketball. You know what I mean?
I don't think they got it when it comes to comedy though. I mean, they got the opportunity. I would say they got it when it comes to like opportunity because you got a lot of different platforms for you to be able to perform and put your craft out. But when it comes to just pure people creating and making people laugh, I definitely think the DMV got that for sure.
Why do you think that is? What is about that area that you think produces so many entertaining talents?
I think for one, the when we have the conversation about Joaning, it's just like you got that energy, and that energy has always been there, and there is no room for like when it comes to Joaning and the DMV, like there's no room for the tough guy. You know what I'm saying? Like that like having that energy, that grit when you coming from New York, like that type of area, there's no energy for that in the DMV because it's just like now you just look soft because you getting in your feelings.
Look even worse
because somebody talking about you. It's just like, brother, say something back.
Yeah.
And I had to realize how goofy I looked for getting mad. So it's just like I think because it's always that energy has always been there,
Uh-huh.
and it's always gonna be there. I think there's like just a bottom line funny that like is just embedded in the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, then you have like the Joning sessions and the things like that, and the conversations that come from that.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's so many creatives in the DMV also.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talented people. I
A
know
lot.
people be feeling like I gotta get out the DMV and this and that. It's a lot of talent there.
Yeah, and a lot of people are moving there as well. So now you're getting the diversity out there. Yeah, it's a
Mhm.
lot going on. But nonetheless, if you think you can Joan, take a trip to Maryland or DC, just get in the mix with somebody and you'll know what you really made of.
Just hey, you go to a gas station, you just see somebody walking, just be like, man, I
Right.
know you ain't just walking. This nigga ain't
Uh-huh.
got no car.
Yeah.
It's just gonna start just like that.
That's it.
Just like that.
That's it. Let's talk about, like I said in the introduction, arguably one of the most famous memes of all time, the peace out and disappearing.
Yeah.
First off, how did that even come about?
I think that's another one of those things where it's like, and this is why I say you can't miss the moment. Because honestly, the first disappearing video I did, like I did it with two hands, right? So, and that just, it was what it was. And my stuff wasn't even going viral at the time.
Okay.
And then I think I did a couple disappearing videos after. I don't know what made me just change it to one hand. Not only that, I wasn't even using the song that I was using. The first song that I thought about using or I had put to it was like Genuine Pony, which just was not going to, it just wasn't the vibe.
Yeah.
And then when I switched to the other song, it just made more sense. And then it's like one of those things, and any creative out there knows what I mean. Like sometimes things just click. Like when you see it and you see it put together, you can feel it. You like, that's it.
Yeah.
And I think that's another special connection that you have when you create and when you just know that that's it. And then when I put that out, the first one, then I put like another one out, and I knew it once I edited it that was perfect, regardless if it wasn't going viral or not.
Yeah.
And then I put out another one, and then I don't think it went viral probably until like the 5th or 6th one.
Okay.
And then that's when it just took off.
Yeah.
And then from there, it was up.
That's dope that you said it didn't happen to the 5th or 6th one.
Yeah.
You know, me and I'm pretty sure plenty of other people thinking you just did it one time and boom, but that just goes to show the preparation or the execution that leads up. The preparation that leads up to the execution, I should say. It's not just one, boom, we did it. It's a lot of work, that process that gets to the point where people see it. We just think it's, that's all it was.
Yeah, and resilience and confidence, because like, and a lot of creators like can see something and they might look at numbers, and they might be like, I'm not hitting this and that. And sometimes it ain't got nothing to do with you. It's just keep going. Let the algorithm gotta catch it.
Facts.
You don't control the algorithm. And it's just like sometimes we get on ourselves in our heads, especially as creatives, where you'll be like, this ain't go crazy. I gotta do something different. Sometimes you don't gotta do nothing different. Sometimes you just gotta wait and keep on doing exactly what you're doing. And I think that's one of the hardest things, to just do the same thing. Just keep going the same way you've been going and wait your turn.
Yeah, I can attest. I've definitely been there.
Yeah.
So like, have you ever just been out in the streets randomly and people just hit you with it, or people be like, oh, you're from the da-da-da?
Yeah, all the time. 24/7. Everywhere I go, no matter what state I'm in, wherever I'm at, whether it's eating, gas station, whatever. Like it's and the thing that I love though is that I've been able to create so many different moments that people come up to me for so many different things. And because of the longevity that I've been doing it, they come up to me for so many different things. People are stopping me for drum videos. They stopping me for old comedy videos. They stopping me for new comedy videos. They stopping me for stuff that I did in Atlanta, stuff that I did with other people, stuff. So it's just like, I'm getting stopped for music. I'm getting stopped for like, it's just so many different things that I've been able to creatively express. And people so mad love, and I love it.
I actually saw on one of your YouTube sketches in the comments, someone said, hey bro, I just want to thank you for making me laugh from high school to present day.
Yeah, that'd be fire when people like say stuff like that. Cause I'm like people would stop me and be like, yo, I've been watching you since middle school. And like I said, I've been doing it over 10 years. So it's like you get to really grow with people, and then like people really like let me know the impact that I've had on their life. And I think that's like super dope.
That's what's up, man. And even though you started on Cinemagram, where you really took off at first was Vine, correct?
Yeah.
So just talk about that content transformation journey going from Vine to social medias to YouTube and beyond, like that journey in itself and how you were able to stay relevant.
Yeah. So what's funny about that is like Vine had already had its stars.
Mhm.
Like it's people that was
Right.
like super famous
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Shout out King Batch and everybody else. They was already going crazy. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And you had to like we had to like really carve a lane for ourselves. And once Twitter came out with video, like we was just like, man, Vine already got its stars.
Yeah.
Let's jump on the Twitter. And then Twitter came out with videos and we just started going crazy on there. But we
Mhm.
was already bubbling on Vine, but it was just seamless because we was one of the first on Twitter,
Right.
and we was able to have a foresight to be able to look there and be like, how can we get here first? And and I think that was really cool. And then from there, Instagram came out with
Mhm.
videos. So then we was posting on both platforms. And we was also catering to different social media platforms because Vine had its own like 6 second 6 second piece that you could only use. And then
Yeah.
Twitter had 15 seconds and
Mhm.
then Instagram had 15 or 20 seconds. So it's just
Yeah.
like you kind of had to mesh it within each platform and see
Yeah.
how it worked. Or you have to edit it differently for each platform,
Right.
whichever made sense. So it was just going into that and being willing to put the work in, and not giving up on ourselves, even in the sense of like, we doing all right on Vine, but not where we want to be at.
Mhm.
Um, let's try Twitter. You know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
saying again, goes back to what I just said. There's nothing wrong with us. You just
Right.
gotta wait. You
Mm.
know what I mean? And that's exactly what we did, and waiting and then transferring from Twitter and Instagram and then going on to YouTube and everything
Mhm.
like that. That was also seamless because people had already known us for posting. So
Right.
honestly, a lot of people, I didn't have a YouTube channel for a long time, and people was like kind of begging me to make one
Mm.
because I was only posting my stuff on like Instagram and Twitter at that point, and then I
Yeah.
had got off of Vine. And I was like, they wanted a place where they could see all my videos.
Right.
And I was just like, all right, man, I'll just make a YouTube and then upload everything on there.
Mhm.
And then that's when I started doing that. And yeah, it was just going crazy since then.
So YouTube is different because you
Yeah.
have minutes, possibly
Yeah.
even hours. You have a longer time, and
Yeah.
it's landscape as opposed to, or I'm sorry, portrait as opposed to landscape as far as the frame setup. So, what was that like transitioning to YouTube? Because I'm pretty sure it unlocked more creative features of yours.
Yeah, because then you start thinking about things differently. Like you're not limited to 30 seconds. You're
Right.
like, I mean, you have 30 seconds, and that's the timing that we was uploading because that's what the internet was kind of used to.
Mhm.
But then once you start like expanding more, and you're like, okay, well, I could do a minute, I
Right.
could do a minute and a half,
Right.
I could do 2 minutes, and then you just able to start unlocking more storytelling.
Yeah.
You start paying attention to things differently because, like you said, landscape versus portrait, you're looking at something in a 9 by 16 versus 16 by 9.
Mhm.
So you start paying attention to framing more,
Mm.
and then paying attention to what's really inside the scene. What do you want to be seen? What framing, composition of shots, and things like that.
Yeah.
And honestly, like my stuff was shot terribly back then, but it goes back to the point of you can't miss the moment because it worked.
Yeah.
It
So what do
worked.
you think challenge as a content creator, as a sketch creator, which would you say challenges your creativity more? Having those 30 seconds in portrait form on social media or having a longer time to work with in landscape on YouTube?
Honestly, it just depends on which battle you want to take on because honestly, I'm the type of creative where I love restrictions because when
Mm.
you give me no restrictions at all, it kind of like leaves my mind to just do whatever.
Yeah.
I like restrictions and kind of being in a box because then it forces me to be more creative with what I have to work with.
You'd be
So if you
like,
tell me,
bet.
yeah, yeah, if you
Yeah.
give me some kind of restraint, like you got 30 seconds only,
Hmm.
then it's just like your mind got to think of how to make this 30 seconds worth it. Now you don't have 30 seconds to waste
Right.
versus like and you don't have to look at it like this, but it could be looked at this way in a longer form content. If you
Mhm.
shooting something for 30 minutes, you got 30 seconds to waste. You
Yeah.
got filler
Right.
scenes and this and that. Just like
Yeah.
if you're watching a TV show, they got filler episodes where it's just like, it don't really move the story forward. It's just kind of there
Yeah.
just to be there. But if you got 30 seconds, you can't waste 5 or 10.
Facts. Not
it's
even
tight.
one.
Yeah.
And I realized that because, like you said, you have filler time. Like with this podcast episode, I'm gonna upload it, cut between scenes, and that's that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? As opposed to when I make reels for my podcast, I keep everything. I like to do a minute, but I have a minute and a half if the story really holds to be that long.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I make it like you said, because you're like, okay, bet I got that time frame. I will take out a second, literally, if it's wasted. If it's something that I think was good, I'm like, all right, that was kind of good. But I was like, I can't be selfish. Will everyone else think those 3 seconds of me or that person talking be good? I could take it out. Cool. I try to make it as short as possible,
Yeah.
as straight to the point, as sweet and as captivating as possible.
Yeah.
And
You gotta really you gotta really capture their attention, and then when you realize when you watching something, I mean, somebody got about a few seconds before they scroll into the next thing.
yeah, and that
Because it's like you ain't saying nothing interesting.
exactly. The attention span is crazy
It's
short
cooked. It's
now.
cooked.
And that kind of started with Vine.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's exactly where it started.
Yeah.
It's cooked.
You said how, well, first off, you and your team were able to be successful and funny and entertaining each level, Vine, Twitter, IG, YouTube. And I know you
Mhm.
said it doesn't really matter on y'all. At the end of the day, you do got to be funny. You do got to be entertaining.
Mhm.
So what were some key factors that kept you and your team relevant as far as being funny and entertaining throughout the years, throughout the different platforms? Because that's very impressive and hard to do.
I think for one, it's just having a team.
Mm,
That's one of the biggest ones because now you got 3 people.
yeah.
And like you're afforded breaks that somebody with one person might not be afforded. So let's
Mhm.
say if me and you are on a team, we creating sketches together, and you get to a point where you like, man, I'm really going through it this month. I don't really feel like
Right.
recording. I'm still holding it down.
Mm,
You get what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I represent us both. So
Yeah.
whether you was dropping or not, they still seeing me, and you might be in my stuff.
Mhm.
You just don't feel like recording your own
Right.
stuff.
It's
right
not
now.
as much energy as
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
putting
yeah.
out.
So you could just kind of follow my direction because you could just show up and I got you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And when I'm putting my stuff out, it's all good. And then I might have a month where I'm doing the same thing, and now you gotta hold me down. You know what I mean? Because I don't
Yeah.
really feel like it. I'm not in that kind of place right now. And then I just jump in your stuff. So it's like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like I think just having a team
Mhm.
is like is like a clutch thing to be able to come back to. Not only that, but having 3 brains be able to bounce ideas around
Right.
and just, well, what do you think about this? And somebody add a little piece to it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, and then you could. And then somebody else they start laughing and they're like, oh yeah, and then you could. And then you know what I'm saying? It just starts building from there. You get the story blocks of what exactly it is that you want to create. And then also the people that you surround yourself with.
Mhm.
That makes the biggest difference.
Mm.
Just because you gotta be around people that's like willing to put the work in,
Mm.
and let's not just talk about it because we having these great ideas. Let's execute now.
Right.
And so I think that was like those things were some of the biggest things that like kept us relevant for that long of a period of time, working together, working by ourselves, but coming back together and bringing other assets back to the table and being
Yeah.
able to just, trade off and do that kind of thing with one another. I think that was like a big piece on top of the consistency.
That's what's up, man. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. So today, especially, everybody's a content creator.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone does skits, does sketches. So we know what has kept you and your team successful and the ingredients for staying relevant with it. What are some areas of improvement you see amongst a group of content creators, specifically ones that do skits today, that you're like, that's keeping them from elevating or taking it to the next level?
Honestly, money. Even though it's a good motivator, money is a good motivator, but I tell people like when they're starting, it's cool for money, I guess, to keep you going.
Mhm.
But starting, I don't think it's a good thing to start for the reason of money. Only because it's just like if there's no money in the beginning, you're gonna what? You're gonna quit. You're gonna
Yeah,
just be like,
yeah.
it's a lot of time you invest in. It's a lot of energy you putting into something, and then you're gonna be like, you're gonna come home and be like, man, I just did an 8-hour shift working,
Yeah.
and then now I'm supposed to do what? Put 4 hours into this too.
Mhm.
I got paid from work. Now I'm trying to chill and decompress. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So it's just like money is at the top of a lot of people's mind and a lot
Yeah.
of content creators' mind. So I think that's one of the things that like hold them back. If they could just eliminate that and more so think from a place of what do I want to put out,
Mhm.
and just keep it pure in
Yeah.
that way, and just let everything else come. Because if you creating from I think a place of purity, everything else kind of just like it fall in line.
Yeah.
It kind of just falls in.
It seems to be that way. Like once you stop being pressed about something, that's when it finds you.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite songs by Fab is "For the Love." He said, "Would you do it for the love?"
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
They have I forget, is it the 4 agreements or is it 7 agreements? I forget which book, but they have something that's called like the law of least effort, pretty much the path of least effort, where it's just like you just chill out. You know what I'm saying? Take all
Mm.
the pressure off and just chill out and just put it out. And when you're just putting stuff out and like I said, creating from a place of purity, I feel like you get rewarded for that. Like you don't have all of that extra pressure, and people could see that.
Yeah.
People can see that, especially like doing what we do. You on camera, like they gotta see your facial expressions, your tone of your voice. So it's like nigga, we see if you stressing on camera. You know
Right.
what I
Nah,
mean?
for real.
So it's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
you just gotta have fun, and I think that's like a big thing like that people don't do is just have fun. It's like
Mhm.
mistakes is gonna happen. Like it's
Yeah.
not gonna be perfect. You gonna mess this up. You gonna mess up, but you
Yeah.
didn't miss the moment, and that's what
Right.
I keep saying. Like you just don't miss the moment. Have fun.
That's huge, bro. And yeah, the instant gratification that everyone's chasing
Yeah.
as well, whether it's money or attention,
Mm-hmm.
followers,
Followers.
you know what I mean? People just want it now. And when they don't get it now, they stop.
By the way, people ask me, "Hey, can you shout me out?" I say no. Why? Because it's just like you're not ready for a shout out. When we
Mm,
talk about preparation,
yeah.
it's just like you get a shout out and people come to your page, then what?
Mm,
They don't have nothing to watch. You drop
right.
like 2 things.
Yeah.
So it's just like, why do you want a shout out? You're not prepared. You don't have the catalog.
Mm,
So it's just like keep dropping, be consistent, do what you need to do on your end, and then when the opportunity meets the preparation, fireworks happen.
yeah.
Because the opportunity will come.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta wait.
That's
But it's
it.
just like if you want the opportunity before the preparation comes in,
Mhm.
what are you gonna do with it? You don't even know how to handle that level of opportunity at your front door. You don't even know what to do when you gotta if somebody say, hey, I got a contract for you right now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know who to look at with this paper, what these words
Right.
mean. Do you need an entertainment lawyer? You don't know none of this.
Yeah.
So it's just like you on step Z
Mm-hmm.
and you should be on step A.
Yeah, you'll crash out. We spoke about that earlier, but no, I really like how you touched on having a catalog because that helped me a lot. But I knew that going into it. Like, say when I first started, I'm like, yo, I'm nice at this. I know I can get this person's attention or do this or do that. But I was like, you know what? Let me build my page up first
Mhm.
to the point where when someone goes on it, they can just scroll through your shit. They can binge your content. That's what you want.
Mhm.
Like if you just have like a few, like you said, if you just got 2, 3 clips up there, what good is that? They
You're
don't
gonna be on
really,
your page 10 minutes.
yeah, they don't really know your true diversity. But once you have that catalog to where someone can binge, I've had so many times, whether it was for an opportunity or just for a shout out from somebody, where it's like, yo, like I went to your page and I was on it for like the past hour. I love your clips, da da da. That's what you want,
Yeah.
but you gotta prepare for that.
You gotta put in the work. You gotta hit record. You gotta put stuff out.
Yeah.
You just gotta build
Facts.
and then wait for the opportunity to come. Just be patient.
Yeah, yeah, facts. So we went from 6 seconds, 15, 30, social media. We're now at YouTube, at least from what we know.
Mhm.
I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. What's next?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't rock with none of the Hollywood parties. So
Good. Especially
you,
right now. I'm
yeah,
glad you don't,
yeah.
brother. I'm glad you don't, man.
Yeah, I've always been somebody like people like for me. What's next is just whatever next that I create because with YouTube with my channel, I have complete creative freedom.
Yeah.
I've worked with a lot of companies and a lot of whether it's independent or multi-million-dollar companies and stuff like that. Where like I mentioned earlier, they might ask me, "Hey, I want you to write some sketches," and then there's red tape. I can't be myself. You know what I mean? I can't create the way I would want to create. So for me, it's like I could either jeopardize my creative freedom
Mhm.
and then have somebody telling me how to create, what to create, or I can keep creating for myself and the things that I enjoy creating. So for me, I love creative control.
Yeah.
I as a creative, I don't want to be micromanaged. I don't want nobody to tell me how to do my job because
Mhm.
I've invested like I can't even count how many hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like I live and breathe this. I wake up and I create and I film and I shoot and I take this seriously. So it's just like for me, my focus is just creating the next thing. And um honestly, like I feel like that's the route that most people I think that's the best route for most people because when you going into like a lot of the things that happens in Hollywood and like even outside of like all of the, you know, the crazy things, but like just auditioning and things like that in general, like I mentioned earlier, like I got that role on Atlanta based on something I had put out,
Mm-hmm.
not based on an audition.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like it goes back to again catalog.
Yeah.
So it's like we giving free game right now.
Nah,
This
for
is like
real.
free game. So it's
Yeah.
just like this is how it go. You got to put stuff out,
Yeah.
and opportunity would just come to you, and that's how I feel like it should be operating. So the next thing I'm working on is just my next sketch, which is dropping probably tomorrow.
That's what's up. But yeah, I mean, just to piggyback on what you just said a few seconds ago, like you DMing me saying that you checked out the podcast,
Yeah,
that was crazy to see. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
like when I see stuff like that, I'd be like, oh shit. But then I realize, I mean, shit, I have been busting my ass putting out clips and
yeah.
everything. So that is a dope moment. Let me ask, have you ever been in a situation where you did agree to do writing knowing red tape, you would call it? Red tape was involved and you were somewhat limited.
Only yes, only in the sense of it's not mine. Like so, it's just if it's yours. If they hit me and was like, yo, I want you to write this for me, and this is my idea,
Okay, I see.
but I want you to like,
Yeah.
because I like your writing, so I
Right.
want you to do it. Then it's like, okay, we can orchestrate it how your brain wants
Right.
it.
I see.
But it's like if you now come to me and you like, retro, I got this amount of money for you. I want you to do this,
Mhm.
and now you gotta give up the creative control because it's like you're trying to pay me to be me.
Right.
So it's just like you gotta let me be me, or is this your thing that you
Yeah.
want?
Have you ever taken a bait before?
No,
Nah.
no, no, no.
Turned down every one.
I've turned down $1 million deals just because it's not worth it to me. The creative freedom and
Yeah.
the stress that comes with. Actually, let me not say that. I've taken the bait on smaller scales.
Okay.
And the thing is that allowed me to turn down the bigger scales
Mm.
because I felt the pressure from the smaller scales where I'm like, well, you're not letting me, I'm not even, I can't even do what I really want to do. And
Yeah.
then for me, I love my work so much and I live and breathe this so much. I don't want you to put that out with my name on it now because it
Mm.
don't represent me.
Right.
Now when you say written by me, I don't
Yeah.
even respect that. I'm not gonna promote that. I don't
Yeah.
want that even out there for real because it's not a representation of me. And I know what that felt like. So I'm just like, when it comes to getting contracts that are way bigger than that, then now you're looking at it like, the money is like, I know what that's gonna feel like. It's like you
Right.
got the money, but it's just like I'm not proud of what
Yeah.
that
You
is.
understood it from a micro scale, so you can only imagine, you know what I
Yeah,
mean, if it's times 1,000.
yeah, you're not proud. Well, I wouldn't be proud of like what it is.
Yeah, I feel that. And to kinda make a comparison, if you would, to the podcast world, it's like that with sponsors,
Mm,
with sponsorships. You gotta know how to turn down ones that don't match your brand.
mm-hmm.
Like a few weeks ago, I had I'm not gonna say the company, but it was a sex toy company, but that was mostly dedicated. It was a sex toy, most sex product, I would say, which I don't mind because I have women on here and we talk about sex a lot. Like I talk about sex on my show,
It
but
was like a
it's
male sex product or a female sex product.
technically both. It was
Pause.
all right, how can I say this? Because it was a product that you ingest that enhances the
Okay.
taste
Okay.
of your fluids,
Okay.
and both men and women are supposed to take it.
Okay.
But still, that just didn't align. Like I couldn't see myself every episode promoting that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's a dope product if it really works. I mean, I did my research. I didn't see the best of reviews. That also went into the consideration. But that product, I'd like, can I see myself every week? You know what I mean? Because mostly men tune into this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like on YouTube, most of my following is men. Women listen to the podcast more so. But nonetheless, I just didn't see that aligning with me. The energy wasn't like I could see myself promoting this every episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But in doing that, I know that the right one is going to come my way very soon. As opposed to me just kind of limiting myself with that one. And who's to say like I may want a sponsorship the complete opposite end of the spectrum. And that brand may see, what I'm putting out every episode as far as the other sponsor I'm having, like, it may not match. Never mind. We'll
Yeah.
find somebody else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the thing is, I feel like opportunities come to you because of who you are,
Yeah.
not because of what you accept or things like that. So it's like you turn down one, another one to be there.
Yeah,
It's just a
facts.
matter of time and just waiting, and I think staying genuine to who you are, because a lot of creation and creators should understand that there's a niche audience for everybody. So it's just like
Everyone.
whoever you are and however you create,
Mhm.
there's some audience and some brand that aligns with it. They just haven't seen you yet.
You could
That's
talk
it.
about your niche could be rubber ducks, and you'll have a following on it. You'll have the company that makes the rubber ducks for the Jeep Wranglers. They'll
Yeah.
reach out to you. Like, it's one for
Yeah.
everything. It's an audience for everything. So like we said, we're on YouTube now. You like that it's no limitations, and technically that's cinematography. That's what you're involved with
Yep.
now, right? So what I want to do right now is a quick segment, a game, if you would,
Yeah.
of this or that Black cinema. So
Okay.
this is gonna be a this or that with all things around Black cinema.
Okay. Let's hope I do good at this.
All right. First up, we have directors Spike Lee or John Singleton. God bless the dead.
John Singleton.
Okay. Voice actors, if you would. Morgan Freeman or James Earl Jones.
Morgan Freeman for sure.
Okay, that's a good one. Movie trilogy. The Fridays or the
Okay.
Bad Boys.
That's a good question. I want to say Fridays because this last Bad Boys, they kind of threw me off with that one.
The fourth one, did you like the fourth one?
Nah, I don't think they should have.
Did you like the third?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so you
liked
like the
everything
third.
before then.
Okay.
But I just think they should have just left it at where it was.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could just,
Yeah. It'd be like that. All right. I know you like this one. Sketch shows in Living Color or Chappelle Show.
Chappelle Show.
Chappelle Show.
Chappelle Show for sure. I had to think about it because I love the writing. I love In Living Colors is just it's very different from Chappelle Show, but it brings a different dynamic than Chappelle Show brings. But I just love to laugh. And Chappelle Show got so many different like genres within itself that I feel like you just get more variety with that. For sure. That's fire.
Good answer. Cartoon. Boondocks or Fat Albert.
Boondocks for sure. One of my favorite cartoons.
Yeah, that one's dope. All right, we're going to end it with this. This isn't a this or that, but this is a top three. Top three classic Black movies.
Top three classic Black movies. We going Training Day for sure. I need Training Day in there.
Now hold on. When I say Black, I mean like
hood.
Not necessarily, but mostly Black cast.
Okay, so we gonna go.
Cause Training Day won a
yeah.
Was it Grammy or Oscar? Which one's for movies? Oscar and all that. Yeah.
We gonna go. That's a good question. We gonna go mostly Black cast.
Like, so for instance, Friday would be one.
Yeah. I think we gonna go Precious.
That was a good one.
That's a good one. That's a fire.
Yeah.
That one.
That's a
got
curveball. I ain't see that one coming.
Yeah.
Right.
That it's so much dynamic in their acting and everybody involved in that. I love that movie. Precious. We gonna go Juice.
Yeah.
Fire. Acting again. Like everything in there, just like people's acting, the dynamic, the writing, everything.
Yeah, I love Juice.
So we're gonna go Juice, Precious, and then we're gonna go for the last one. For the last one, we're gonna go probably Baby Boy.
Baby Boy. Yes.
Yes. I think when I look at everything, I look at not just the Black cast, but just everybody's acting abilities, the writing, and just how they brought all the characters to life.
The story.
Yeah, and all three of those for sure. Yeah, Baby Boy, Precious, and Juice,
Yeah.
fire.
You know what I really like about Baby Boy? How it's a deep story to it. It's a great story to
Yeah.
it. It's a serious movie, but it has so many funny moments
Yeah.
that I don't even think were intentionally set out to be funny,
Yeah.
but just turned out to be hilarious.
That's literally how I felt about Precious too. Like, there's so many
Uh.
things like she said that's just like you just. I told you I like dark,
Yeah, you
dark
got
humor,
dark
so
humor.
it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
there's so many things she said. It's just like that was just funny to say,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just like the way they portrayed everything on all of those movies, fire.
I haven't watched Precious since it came out, so I remember bits and pieces of it, but I don't remember the full scope. I gotta go back and rewatch
Yeah,
it.
yeah. You'll be if you got that type of humor, you'll be laughing.
Yeah, I appreciate dark and dry humor.
Yeah.
I like it all.
Same. Office is one of my favorite. The Office is one of my favorite shows ever.
I gotta shake your hand on that one.
One of my favorite.
I gotta shake your hand on that one. Yes, hands down. I be telling people, I'm like, it's like with The Office, bruh. You either get people that hate it or love it. It's no in between.
Yeah, I love it. I tried to watch the UK version too. That's how much I loved it, but I wasn't.
You couldn't get with it?
Couldn't get with the UK.
I've never
version.
saw
That's
the
the
UK
that's the
version.
original version.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't get with it.
What's your favorite episode from The Office?
Probably like Bittersweet. When Michael left and he had to be replaced.
Oh man, when he hugged Pam at the airport,
Yeah,
and then she was saying, like, she was in tears saying what he said. Then he said that's what she said right after he took off his mic for the last time. Yeah, that was tough.
yeah.
Man.
It's like it pulling. Like, it's so funny, but it pulls on so like I like shows with dynamic where you get these serious moments, but also these hilarious moments. And I think that his replacement did really good too. But it was just like that was one of my favorite episodes for sure, just because of like just the transition and what it meant and what was happening.
Yeah, mine was the dinner party. I loved it when he took the plasma and he was like, if you need space, and pushed like an inch into the wall, and then him and what was her name? Jan. Him and Jan kept going at it, and yeah, I really liked the dinner party. And then it was everybody involved, and it was outside of the actual office for once. It was like inside of his crib. Do you think that the office could survive in today's sensitive world?
For sure. I think it can. I don't think they did anything too crazy. Now they did.
Diversity training was crazy.
Yeah.
Him coming at Oscar all the time for being gay.
Yeah. But I think I don't know if it's maybe because like the way they did it, because I think there's a way you can do offensive things with tact, and you know what I mean, and with like with just like some actual credibility. And I think the way they did it was like kind of cool. Like, they didn't have to like be like highly disrespectful or like, step on toes, but they were still able to like touch on things and make these light jokes. And you get what they're saying.
Right.
But it's just like, it wasn't so, at least to me, maybe it's just how my humor is, but it didn't come off so raunchy and just like, bottom of the barrel type joke.
Right. Yeah, I think your sense of humor is taken into consideration with that, because I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I think if The Office came out today,
canceled,
they would have shut that shit down so quick. I think more specifically when they touched on the gay topics and the like when they would make fun of Kelly, being Indian and her culture and everything. Now, granted, you can see it. I can too. I love it. But when we just think about the people who will be so quick to try to like that cancel culture when it was really just potent. Oh man, they were just looking for anything to try to cancel.
Yeah, everybody hates Chris to be out of here too.
Yeah. The teacher.
Yeah. It's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
She was terrible.
Everybody, it's a lot of stuff that'll be out of here.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I don't. Yeah, she said some crazy stuff.
She was wilding.
She was wilding.
Do you think it'll go back to the times where it's not as sensitive, or do you think it would begin to, or do you think it would be more sensitive as time goes on?
I think it would be. There's always going to be a place in society for jokes. And I think so long as people like me are living, other people that are pushing the boundaries are living and standing on their square, I think it's always going to be a place, because we don't have these feelings like out of nowhere. I don't like dark humor and things that I'm not supposed to laugh at just because, like, if I exist, there's other people that exist that feel the same way and that's looking for that. So we could, as a society, get more sensitive, but the minute somebody decides to break the mold and be like, you know what, I'm gonna go against that, they're gonna have a huge platform because it's needed. And naturally, I think like deep down inside us, we have this tendency to want to be able to be free. Like you don't want to be controlled.
Right.
Oh, I can't laugh at this. I can't
Right.
laugh at that. So I think it's always going to be space in the community for both. I do think people will continue to get sensitive, but I think what that will end up happening is just there's going to be just a line in the sand and more separation where they realize, you know what, we won't go to this comedy show. We're not going to see this stand-up comic because, and it's good. Don't go see him because
Right.
the people in his audience want to laugh.
They
bruh.
want to
So
be there. Yeah.
stay home. Like
Right.
if you want to be
Facts.
serious, go to the office or something like
Facts.
that.
Facts. What's your favorite sketch and why?
My favorite sketch, like just in general for everybody.
Let's stick to YouTube because, like I said, I've been binging your YouTube for the past 3 or 4 days.
So I would say one of my favorite sketches is when your mom keeps nagging you.
Mm.
And that's the one where Mama Spectral asked me to do the dishes, and I'm like, oh, I already did them.
Where your friend, his friend was next to him playing the games that were on the
No. So I came in the house. She's like,
okay,
do
it's
the
a different one.
dishes. And I'm like, I already did them. There's
Yeah.
no dishes in the sink.
Yeah.
And then she's like, there's definitely dishes in the sink. And then
Uh-huh.
I get into the kitchen,
Yeah.
and I'm like, exactly, there's no dishes in the sink. Turn
Uh-huh.
around, and now she's holding the dishes.
Yeah.
And then from there, we just start boxing it out.
Right.
Like we literally, it's a full blown fight scene for like 3 minutes. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty much the skit. It's
Yeah.
like this is just a whole fight scene,
Mm.
and where we just going blow for blow. Like it's just a crazy fight scene, and I think that's one of my favorite skits. I love like fight choreography
Mm.
and just being able to just like portray that kind of sketch. I would say either that or I got a skit that's called "When You Realize You're Stronger Than Your Dad," which is
Mm.
like another.
I haven't seen that one yet. That's it.
That's another like one where it's just like you kind of it's not an entire fight scene,
Yeah.
but the dad is kind of picking with him, and then he's just done. He fed up,
Mhm.
and then he stepped to the dad, and then whatever happens from there happens from there. And I
Yeah.
think it's just funny because I'm able to portray like what your mom might say,
Mhm.
but what we know in real life you can't do.
Yeah.
But it's just like in the skit world and film and cinematography, I could jump that ledge
Yeah.
and then
it's
portray that.
and it's real life scenarios.
Yeah.
Like I've never done it, but I've heard of so many situations where someone stepped to their dad.
Yeah.
They try to. It gets to that point where they be like, "Okay, I can take my dad." They try to
I'm a
step to
man
him.
now.
Yeah, I'm a man now. They may get their ass beat, but they try. And then we all have been there when our mom nagging the shit out of us for
Yeah.
the smallest stuff. So these
Mhm.
are real life scenarios.
Yeah.
So I imagine that is a big part as to making like great sketches. Like,
Yeah, that's one of my main things is like, honestly, I'm never looking at anything I create like, is this funny? To be honest, I'm never asking myself that question. I just ask myself, is this real?
Mm.
Because real is funny to me. Like the realness of life, the stuff that be happening in life, it just be funny. Like stuff be funny. You walk into a room and something happened. It's like that was funny. You can't script that out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like it's a real scenario. So I just like to take scenarios that are real and then like create from there.
Yeah, the relatability.
Yeah.
And that's why my favorite sketch from you is when your friends start dating a stripper.
That's funny.
And he just simping crazy over the stripper. He's gullible to the fact that she actually is a stripper. And that's my favorite one because it was hilarious and not only that, because it's relatable. I had a friend that went through that exact same shit. I'm like, yo, this is blowing my mind right now.
You're like, nah, she just needed a little cosign. So I'm
Right.
just like, I mean, why not?
Right. Yeah.
You don't do that.
I just put my name on the line for her. Like, why not? I mean, she's a good chick. Like, she's not a dancer. She's a content creator. It's a difference. Yo, I absolutely love that skit.
It's funny. I'm glad that you brought that skit up, and that's why I like to create like so many like variety because it could go from family stuff to dating stuff to something like that to something that's just with the boys. It's just like I like to create variety because like all of these are like real scenarios where it's just like when will you see a skit like that? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like when will you see that?
Has that ever happened to you or a friend?
Nah, I've never
Okay.
fallen in love with a stripper. I mean, their job is to any guys out there, their job is to listen to you. So they are getting paid to listen to you.
Yeah, I've had one on here, or I've had two on here, and they both said the same thing. And I say, in a sense, strippers are therapists.
Yeah.
The strip club is therapy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they listen to them dudes just decompress the bullshit that they're going through, and they may not have that. They may not have a wife at home that can listen to them like the stripper is doing. So, they're gonna compensate you for doing
Yeah,
such.
and I got friends that strippers and like they be doing their thing, but it's just like you gotta understand it's a job, bro.
Mhm.
It's a job. Like
Yeah.
don't get caught up, don't get lost in the sauce. It's a job.
Well, it's funny you said that. Since it is just a job, let me ask you: would you date a stripper?
Nah.
Why not?
It's not a job. It's just a job, but
Mhm.
it's not a job that I would want my partner to
Yeah.
have. Just because it's the same thing as like preference. I mean, I wouldn't date a police officer. I wouldn't date like somebody in the military. I'm
Mhm.
not, because there's certain things that come with certain things, and I think for me it was just like put me in a position to crash out in certain ways that
Why
like.
so? Like, why would you crash out?
Just in the sense of like, let's say you could be dating a stripper and then she call you the middle of the night like, oh, so and so, I'm going to my car and this just happened, or like
Mhm.
somebody just came at her crazy
Mhm.
and she might just genuinely just be there trying to work. And
Mhm.
I've talked to different like people, like they got all different types of motives for stripping.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't just like.
Trying to be a hoe.
Yeah. And I know that sounds crazy to people that might not know strippers because
Yeah,
they're like, I
that's what
mean,
it
by
is.
the essence of stripping is you
Right,
look
you
at
would
it like
think.
you're just a hoe.
Right.
But it's just like everybody got different motives for why they are in that profession.
Yeah.
And it's just like if I get a call like that, or
Mhm.
if something happened and they in danger, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
that can happen with any profession, but it's just a higher percentage chance that it can happen there. And I'm just like, that just put me more in a situation to catch a charge, to do
Mhm.
something. It's just like I don't want to have to.
All right, good answer. I would have to say no as well. The reason for me being is because I just really love the what's the word I'm looking for? Discreetness
Yeah.
with a woman that I'm heavily interested in. And if everyone sees her body naked, I'm just not cool with that. I might be called insecure for that. I don't give a fuck. You can call me being insecure for that. I don't care. I don't want everyone to seeing what my chick's titties look like. And then depending on what state, what a vagina look like I don't like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
discreetness. Like if I have a chick, like they say, lady in the street, freak in the sheets.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I
yeah.
don't want nobody to know, her most vulnerable spots that I know and that I see and that I love. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and I mean, yeah, there's credit to that. I wouldn't want nobody like, I just seen you. I was just with your girl last night. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's like the same with an
Um,
OnlyFans chick. Now, I will say this about strippers and OnlyFans chick because, well, let's say strippers, stay on topic. I've known either current or retired strippers, like maybe like 5.
mm,
And one thing about all of them, dope ass
yeah,
personalities, like friend
mad cool.
wise, cool as shit. And they gotta be. They gotta have a good personality to,
Yeah,
mingle with people. So I think personality wise, they make great friends. But as far as like my woman, my lady, I couldn't do it just because of the visual access that everyone else has that I really take serious.
hmm,
But yours, I like your reason as well because they're more sustainable to bullshit situations that they can
yeah, and
be in.
it's a lot to end up having to deal with that, and then it also depends on like your own, like you said, your own core values and like
Mhm.
how you see things. And honestly, I don't think either is wrong, because it's just like if you cool with that, then hey, bro, more power to
God
you. You know what I'm
bless.
saying? More
Yeah.
power to you. And everybody got a preference of what they want. It's just like I don't want to live in that type of headspace
Yeah.
where I gotta like be worried about like all these other things.
Yeah. Respect.
But also on the flip side of that, people
Mhm.
feel that way about people can feel that way about me. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot
Mhm.
that come with being a content creator and being a cinematographer that's at the level that I am, because
Mhm.
like I said, I'm stopped all the time.
Yeah.
This is happening, that's happening. It's a lot that come with it. So
So have you dealt with that in a situation where a chick like wasn't
yeah,
rocking with it?
yeah, for sure. And I got to make the decision, just like a stripper or somebody
Yep.
might have to make the decision. I might have to make the decision for him and be like, "This not for you, mama."
Mhm.
Like, because the things you tripping about, like this is just the norm.
Mm.
Like this just what come with it.
Yeah.
And it's just like you met me like this, and
Right.
this is my profession. So it's
Right.
just like, and I think that's where I get my understanding from too, because it's
Yeah.
like I understand
Yeah.
this is just what it is. It's like you can't get with a stripper and then now you mad because somebody done paid for a private
Uh-huh.
dance.
Right.
What do you think was gonna happen?
Exactly. What type of things did have a woman that you was dealing with trip out about you and what you do?
I mean, you got comments, DMs, you got
Mm.
following things, like all of these like things like that, like where I just don't have conversations like about that type of stuff no more,
Yeah.
because it's just like it's such a waste of energy
Yeah.
in a relationship or something like that.
Mhm.
And honestly, you know, women feel very differently and have their own opinions about something like that. Like, I mean, if you're sitting like looking at somebody's following list, you're like, oh, why you're following this? Like,
Mm.
it's we pass certain conversations, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing where I look at it in a sense of like, I mean, you talking to Sugar, you're like, well, why you got to be sitting with that guy for 30 or for an hour or two? Or you usually sit with them for only two. Nigga, he about to pay her $5,000 tonight.
Right.
Relax.
You gotta be cool with everything that come
it's
with
just
it.
like relax.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying like, again, everybody got their own values and their own system of how they like to do things. But when it comes to like me, I create.
Yeah.
And it's just like social media is my job. This is my profession. This is what I do. This is what I wake up and do. I follow different people. I do this. I'm connected to different people. I keep relationships. I have to do certain things. So it's just like, it's a lot for people. It's a lot. Some people, you might be out, you getting stopped. I could be out at a restaurant. We stop. The waiters could be like, yo, I want get as soon as you're done eating, you think I could get a picture? You think like this is what happened, and that might be too much for some people. You know what I mean? Where they like, this feels like weird. There's no privacy here.
Yeah.
There's no, and it's not for everybody.
Right. Yeah. I can correlate that to podcasting as far as like when I have a woman on, because I have a lot of women on, especially at one point, like I only had just badass women on this joint. And 3 times, like 3 different talking stages I was in with a chick, and none of them were cool with it. Initially, they said they were. It's like, yeah, da, da, da. But then, well, one of them said they weren't. They understood, and I was like, all right, so we parted ways. But 2 was like, yeah, I'm cool with it, da, da, da. Next thing you know, yeah, I got mad when I seen one reel and you asked a chick what size her titties were. Like, I really wanted to punch you, da da da. And then one's like, oh, why you gotta have that pretty ass girl on that, da da da. And then we talk about some real shit when I bring women on here. So yeah, and you know that made me realize like I have to be with someone that's cool with the whole package, whether I'm talking regular shit or if I'm bringing someone on who is a sex worker or whatever it may be. You have to have someone that's on the same page.
Yeah,
for
and
the
with
whole
that
thing.
comes with like reassuring them,
Yeah.
making sure like your person feels secure within themselves and they ain't
Yeah.
gotta like question, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
nobody could take me away from you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Facts. I want to ask you about something. A tweet that I actually saw recently.
Oh damn, that's crazy. I be tweeting some crazy stuff. Honestly, I just be letting it fly on Twitter.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. Love is life. Life is love. 10K likes, and I'm gonna try the Galaxy Gas and let y'all know what it do and how it make me feel. I'm gonna make sure I don't get addicted to it though. Handshake.
Reading that out loud is crazy.
Right. Okay, so what inspired this tweet?
Everybody going crazy with the nitrous oxide.
I know, right? It's insane.
And you know, I was just like, I want to see what it's about.
So would you really uphold that? Where's it at now? When I looked at it, it wasn't at 10K.
No.
Thank God.
I'm glad they didn't get it there.
Right. Okay.
I'm glad they didn't get it to 10K.
Right.
Even without the 10K, I tried it. You know what I mean? And honestly, I got a little mini can right here. If you want
a mini can of Galaxy Gas?
You want to try it on?
I'll let you try it out. I was just observing. I was going to say, have you really tried it though?
Nah, hell no.
Okay, I was going to say, damn, he's deep in it. He talking about some mini can. Talking about somebody gonna get addicted to it. You invested now, brother.
Yeah. I would never try it if that tweet don't hit 10K. If it hit 10K,
you would have tried it.
I put my health on the line.
Do you have an addictive personality?
No, I don't got no addictive personality.
All right, that's good.
But that's why I said I'll make sure I won't get addicted.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's interesting. And that thing, nitrous huffing and all of that kind of stuff been around for a long time.
Yeah.
These kids just taking it crazy.
Yeah.
These niggas, they bringing it to school, passing out in the hallway.
Yeah, well, that's insane.
Man, the youth, hey man, just don't fry your brain cells. At least let your frontal lobe develop first.
Yo, they're legit becoming junkies before our eyes. Like
15-year-old junkies.
Yeah,
14-year-old junkies.
That shit ain't cool and fun. And listen, I was a heavy weed smoker when I started smoking at like 13. I don't smoke no more, but like when I was a teenager smoking, I was like 13. Yeah, I would go to school Friday and all that. But I've never passed out, been slumped over, dozed off,
Hmm.
like, and I don't understand the craving of wanting to do that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I'm not really with anything that makes me not be able to function or like lose my cognitive abilities
Right.
and like to the point where like my eyes is rolling back.
Yeah.
I ain't never drink no lean.
Yeah.
Or like like I can't function. Like I'm passing out, all of that type of stuff. I'm not with none of that.
Have you ever tried any hard drug? You don't have to name it, but
Um uh yeah, I mean well, first of all, I started smoking weed when I was 3 years old.
okay, that is
So
very, very, very young.
yeah, I
Like
was going to
you were inhaling
like
it on
I
your
was
own
like
or
puffing.
secondhand?
Yeah, no,
You
I
was
was
hitting weed at 3.
yeah. So I used to go to like elementary school fried. I was going to school
Uh-huh.
fried. He like,
Wait, you
we
for
gotta get
real?
you therapy.
Wait, you for real? You bullshitting. You for real?
No, I don't play. I don't
Yo,
play.
I'm like, okay, that explains why you so goddamn funny then. That is
Nah,
insane.
I mean my brain ain't developed all the way. That's why I'm
Right,
funny.
right. You still 7 years old the whole time. That's crazy. But I
Nah,
mean, it's some stories out there like that where
I
people are
know.
smoking since 5, 6 years old.
I ain't never tried no well, it depends on what you define as hard drugs, but nah, I don't think I ever tried no hard drugs.
That's what's up.
Uh I like to like I mean I'm all for like experimenting
Mhm.
safely, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, in safe environments with safe people and things like that. But to be honest, like I know my personality, like I said, I don't have an addictive personality,
Mhm.
so I just I stay away from anything that might be addictive too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not smoking those cigarettes.
Yeah.
Man, I've tried them,
Yeah.
but that tastes like death.
Yeah, you're not getting to the point where like you're hooked on it,
Yeah,
hooked
I'm
on
not doing no
phonics.
lines of coke. I'm not, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I'm not poking no needles, trying no heroin, no meth,
Mm.
no. I'm not doing none of that.
Yeah, same. I don't have an addictive personality. I've safely experimented as well. Not on nothing crazy. I've never done crack or meth and nothing like that. But I
There
will
you go.
say, one time in Vegas, I was at a rooftop party.
He
That's
breaking the Vegas rule.
that started. No, I'm not going into crazy detail because I'm gonna just lay out the party and then I'm dropping the mic. Rooftop party on top of a strip club. The party started at 3 in the morning. It went from like 3 in the morning to like 8 in the morning.
That set the tone.
And you see like the sun rise over the mountains and over the strip and everything. And it was like a rave kind of. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Um,
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. You say you come from a large family. What if you saw your little brother huffing galaxy gas?
Um. Honestly, like I'm the kind of person where I give him I'd be like, hey, bro, come on, like that ain't the way. But I let people live their lives. Like I'd be like, man, if you want to be a junkie, you know what I'm saying, like do your thing. I won't be associated with you at some point.
Yeah, sometimes you do have to let people fall on their sword,
You gotta let people
unfortunately.
crash out the
Yeah,
way they want to.
yeah, that is a fact. Well, listen, man. Retro, the living legend, the living meme, the living entertainer, cinematographer, comedian himself, all the above musician. I truly appreciate you for pulling
Of
up,
course,
dropping some dope gems, dropping some dope ass stories, and providing a great sense of humor
of
like you
course.
always do, man. This was really an honor because, like the dude on your comment said on YouTube, I've literally been laughing at you since high school, laughing with you, laughing at you both since high
Yeah,
school for years now. So, to really be able to dig deep on where all of this talent came from, it's a dope
that's love, man. I
dope thing to
appreciate
do.
being here, and I
Yeah,
appreciate you know what
yeah.
I'm saying, just being on the podcast, being on your platform and everything. I love everything you got going on. So
Appreciate that,
yeah,
bro.
you're gonna keep going crazy.
Appreciate it, bro.
Of
Seriously,
course.
seriously. Everyone tuning in, appreciate y'all more than anything, of course, because this will be nothing without y'all. So whether you're watching, listening, whatever may have you, go ahead and hit like, subscribe, share it out. Do me one solid. In the bio, there's going to be a questionnaire for the podcast to give me better insight on how to make this better for y'all at the end of the day. But until then, make sure that y'all stay safe, stay sane, but most importantly, stay blessed. We out. Peace.